This is a quick style history of Rolling Hills. Rolling Hills is one of 4 cities squished into LA's elbow, aka the Palos Verdes Peninsula. Indigenous people are all over this hill. We call them Tongva, not what they would have called themselves. Closest indigenous site is Chawigna by Redondo Torrents. Here they do just fine for thousands of years. Then in the 1700s, Spain shows up, along with the nations of smallpox, measles, and influenza. Sorry, Tongva. 100 years later, Mexico gains independence. See you later, Spain. Then the US marches on Mexico City, kick rocks Mexico. A.H. Hansen is the father of Rolling Hills. After skipping out on his last 2 years of high school, the guy's built a career as a landscape architect. Made his name by designing beautiful spaces in LA's swankiest surroundings, from Pasadena to Beverly Hills. 1936, Hansen and some money buddies are working on a plan. Build a community for other money buddies. But instead of glitz and glamour, it's acres and acres of horse trails and good country living. Or as he describes it, country homes for city people. Also, they'll be keeping out the riffraff by putting the whole thing behind a gate. Hansen's first instinct is to name the place Folding Hills, but the Long Beach earthquake does all kinds of terrible folding, so he thinks rolling might sound a little nicer. Jumping forward 20 years, Rolling Hills becomes official in '57, though it acts more like a fortress than a city, as every road within its walls is private property. There's also a bunch of rules that help to keep that country twang. Homes should all be single-story with ranch or Spanish architectural style. Exteriors must be lily white. No sidewalks or streetlights anywhere in town. So, if it's night and you're going over to Jimmy's, bring a flashlight and watch your step. Maybe bring a horse. As the 60s come around, lots of cities in LA modernize and densify. All its varied ethnicities join in a county-wide game of musical chairs. Rolling Hills is having none of it. Leave me out. Close the door. Do not disturb. Sometimes this aloofness comes at a cost to the neighbors. Buses gotta go completely around the city, adding crucial minutes to commuters' lives. In the early 70s, a fireworks-inspired fire rages through Rolling Hills. 13 rancher Spanish-style homes are gone. City officials get the heebie-jeebies. All public smoking flat-out banned. Residents now gotta stink up their own houses. Around the same time, a giant chunk of land, about the size of 7 city blocks, dubbed the Flying Triangle, begins sliding off the hill. Since then, it has continued moving, cracking roads, damaging homes, and generally ski-daddling towards the ocean. In '92, Rolling Hills figures, okay, maybe we should be friends with the neighbors, and joins the South Bay Cities Association. In the 90s, most people think of wealthy LA as Bel Air or Calabasas, but in 1996, Rolling Hills is quietly dubbed the richest city in the nation. Despite the acclaim, the city stubbornly holds to the romance of simpler times, understated wealth. A fantasy it defends against all comers. For example, one night, a Rancho Palos Verdes councilman gets a call from his daughter. She's house-sitting in Rolling Hills. Dad, help, some kind of leak. Pops jumps on his Harley, rushes to the scene, then stopped and turned away at the gate. No choppers in the city, even if you're an elected official. 21st century and things change. A little. Rolling Hills loses the title of wealthiest city, though Forbes still ranks its zip code as the 3rd most expensive in America. While wealthy people live wide and varied lives, Rolling Hills citizenry shows one consistent pattern. Decade after decade, they vote red. For president or governor, they vote red. In 2009, Rolling Hills has the 3rd highest percentage of Republicans in all of California. The 2020 census shows a Rolling Hills decline. 100 people vamoose. Might not seem like much, but it's a hefty slice in a population of about 2,000. Interesting enough, since the 60s, it's always hovered around that 2K. Today, LA's got a little housing problem. Not that Rolling Hills takes notice. City law says only single-family homes. No duplexes. Don't even say the word apartments. Though Rolling Hills has donated a good chunk of money to cities like Lomita, we'll help you guys build apartments over there. State officials will wring their hands. You guys should build accessible housing. But the debate stays outside the gate. Even in its own Rolling Hills affairs, council meetings are poorly attended formalities. One particular meeting clocks in at only 15 minutes. Today, Rolling Hills continues to resist the perceived problems of big city life. Within its gates, there are no stores, no banks, not even a restaurant. Just ranch or Spanish-style homes and endless miles of trails for people to trot around on horseback.